I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. Today we are testing the new released, highly anticipated Anastasia of Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. Now this is a gorgeous palette with 12 shades and each color is said to have more than 200% more product than any of their original palettes. So I'm super excited about this. One of the things that I noticed right off the bat is it is beautifully gold embroidered. This outer shell, I'm so thankful. I mean, look, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But one of the things I love about this is if you have any of the other Anastasia of Beverly Hills palettes, you know that outer material, that velvet type crushed velvet that they put on was clean for about 2 days. For most of you, probably a few weeks. For me, a few days. It just got dirty and you could not clean it because of that outer material. And I don't know about you, but while I don't have a makeup collection to just look at and admire the way it looks, I do want to be able to grab it out of wherever I'm storing it and have it feel good each time, at least for a while. You can see how thick this palette is, where that extra 200% of each color comes from. And with the 12 colors, it is split in half. 6 are matte and 6 are shimmer. Now the thing to know about these, and I was a little disappointed, but I guess I understand it, but not really. 3 of these colors are not to be used near your eyes. And that is this really pretty purple wisteria, this really nice cream Palomar, which is a bummer because that would look nice in a lot of areas on your eye for everyday use. And then this Metro, which is a great transition color. So little disappointed about that. You know, this may be a good blush, perhaps. I don't know what else you would use this for if it wasn't on your eyelids. And same with this wisteria. You might be able to use it in a blush, maybe, but it's such a cool tone that I just don't know where you would put that if it wasn't on your eye. And this Metro, like I said, is just such a rusty but not too warm color. And then the Palomar. So you'll want to know that when you purchase this palette that these 3 colors are not meant to be near your eyes. Now I did look at the ingredients for these 3 colors and I didn't find an ingredient that was different than some of the other colors, but that doesn't mean it wasn't in there. I looked with my older eyes, I wore glasses. The print was very small, mind you, but I did look and I couldn't quite figure out why, but that's the way it is stated on their website, so I wanted to follow those directions and pass that along to you. This palette retails for $55. It is a beautiful package. It's very pretty colors. We are gonna see how it wears and how buildable, blendable, and if there's fallout. So if you're ready to put this palette to the test and create this beautiful eye look, then we're gonna get started. All right, you guys, so taking a deep dive into this palette, there are 6 shimmer, really pretty shiny type colors, and then there are 6 that are matte. Now, again, because 3 of the matte you can't use near your eyes, that leaves you 3 matte that you can use. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is take a little bit of my Paint Pot by MAC, just to get rid of any of the veins that I have or any discoloration around my eyes. It allows those vibrant colors to be their most beautiful, without the color of, you know, purple veins coming through. I do enjoy using MAC's Paint Pot and this one in Painterly because when I don't want to put out an eyeshadow, this just helps give a nice sort of a neutral but cool type look to my eyelids. It's perfect for a no makeup day. It also gives a really nice base if you want to layer it with color. And what I like to do is just take up my bronzer and just go a little bit in that transition area and then leave it and I'm good to go for the rest of the day. But today is way more exciting than bronzer. So I'm just gonna take a tapered, fluffy brush, really lightly, not real heavily packed, and I'm gonna go into Liberty, which is an olive green color, and just put that in the outer corners of my eye and just give a little bit of a lift. And I like to do that on both sides, and then I'll step back just a little bit to make sure that I have the angle even before I start to blend. And then I'm just gonna go in and blend with the same fluffy brush, just so that I can really have a light diffused shadow. I don't want to have a lot of color. Again, these colors are so pigmented. And this shadow is a little darker for me and it is very easy to blend, so I'm loving that. We'll just do the same thing over here, just a nice light soft blend. And again, you notice I didn't do my whole lid, I just did the outer corner of my eye and pulled that back. If here's my eyebrow and here's the outer corner, I brought that color about halfway between the two. And then I'll just diffuse it in sort of that nice V. So up a little bit through the crease, not too far. I don't want to really pull the crease. I just want to pull the line out this way more than a crease. It's a very blendable color. It's probably buildable. I'm going to go with a smaller taper brush and go back to that same color. And I just want to add just a little bit more intense color just in the outer corner, like exactly where that brush will touch. That's the only place I want that darker color. Right above the eyelash in the farthest outer corner. Now I also see just a little tiny bit of fallout, but not much at all. I think there's like 2 specks. So we'll call that minimal. 2 specks is not bad, especially with a color that's this dark. Now I'm gonna go back in with a very tapered, light, fluffy brush that has no product on it, just to diffuse that out a little bit more. And I wanna make it just a little bit more transparent, a little diffused, so that you don't look at my eye and say, oh, there's an olive color shadow. We really just want to blend that out so that there looks to be some dimension, but you can't really tell why. And so far, I'm loving this color. No fallout on that side at all. Now I'm going to go with a square, light, fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this pink color, and we're just going to go across our lash line, inner corner of the eye, and I'm just going to go out and blend it into that olive color. Now I usually keep my lids, as you guys know, a little bit on the lighter side, but I think for a look like this, since it's just a really pretty smoked out yet sultry type look, this would be really pretty if you had like a summer wedding to go to, for example, or if you were gonna be out with friends and it was gonna be a little bit darker, some candlelight, but not black tie where you want something really dark and bold. I think this might be a really pretty look. I'm gonna blend that in really nice, and I'm gonna go back to that tapered brush that was sort of my I call this my cleanup brush. This has no color on it. I use it to just diffuse and soften any color. The key to a look like this where you're adding different colors is to really ensure that you've got it blended really well, but not so blended that you've lost the pigment of each of those individual colors. And again, we're staying below the crease. We're not going any higher than that crease, not going anywhere near our brow bone. You want to keep that a nice color of your foundation. Next, I'm going to take a very tight, dense brush, short in bristles. I'm going to get a little bit of setting spray on. I'm just going to use some e.l.f. setting spray just to get it damp, because now what I want to do is go into this color Muse. And you can see it's a darker color. It has a little bit of gold shimmer in it. And I want to put that color right on the tip of that brush. I definitely do. That's a dark color, so I don't want the color on the side of the brush, because again, when I go to put that on my face, if the side touches anywhere on my eyelid, it's going to add that much color, and then it's going to be a much darker look than I want. So we're just going to go just the tip. And I'm going to go right across my lash line. Now, this color is darker, so you'd expect a little bit of fallout with this. It's black. It's not really black. It's a dark brown, it seems like, and has some gold shimmer to it. Little tiny though. Not glittery, not sparkly. And I'm just going to take that across my upper lashes right at the root, halfway, and getting thicker as you go out, but not a wing. And you don't want to extend that color much farther than that outer corner of your eye than the width of that brush. If that is too much of a wing for you, then turn the brush this way, more vertical, and you can just go right about that height at the outer corner of your eye and stop there. Then I'm gonna go back with that fluffy brush that's sort of my cleanup brush, and I'm just gonna ever so slightly blur that out so that we don't have, again, any harsh lines. We want sort of a sultry, smoky type look, and we'll take that to just a little bit of the outer corner of the V. Very small V. It's like when you were in elementary school and across the top of the room, they had the large A, large V, little v. This is a little V, and then we will do the same on the other side, just ever so slightly. And we're gonna pull that one brush length out past the corner. Go back to our clean, fluffy brush and blend. The key to a look like this where you're adding more pretty bold colors and they're not necessarily neutral in tone is to blend. I remember when I was selling Mary Kay years ago, my director kept saying, Jodi, you've got to keep blending. And I was in such a hurry. I'm like, that takes forever. But it really does make a big difference. The brush makes a big difference, but so does the amount of time you spend blending. All right, now I'm going to go back in with that same tapered type brush, go back into Liberty, that dark green. And I just want to ever so slightly bring that right at my lashes. Again, just the tip of that brush. Carrying that about to the halfway mark, and then we're going to diffuse it out. Back to our clean brush, make sure it's clean. Then I like to go with a clean brush, very similar to the one that we put the shadow on underneath, only one that does not carry color and that I don't use to put color. And just go across it and diffuse it, soften it, give it that sultry look, just so that we don't have any harsh lines. And we're just, again, everything is just soft and natural. Well, there's nothing natural about olive eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to go with a small tapered brush. I'm going to add a little bit of setting spray to this as well, because now we're going to go into some glitter, and this definitely helps take the product off of the palette and put it onto the eyes. So for this look, gosh, I'd really love to use this Palomar, but we cannot. So I'm going to go into this IO color and just take a little bit of that on. And this I do want on the side of the brush, and we'll see how this deposits. Yeah, oh gosh, that is so pretty, and the color payout is outstanding. Wow, these are very, very pigmented and in the most beautiful way. When you use a shimmer type shadow, it's best to pack it on. I know we're at that sort of that halfway mark where you're like, ooh, this could go really good or this could go really bad. I think we're on the mark for it to be really good. Now I'm going to go in with a Sigma Soft Blend 20. This is one that I keep clean all the time, that I go in at my final look and blend everything out with this brush, just so in case it gets too harsh and I want to soften it. This is a great brush for that. And I'm going to go in with just a nice little tapered tight brush, and I want to go back and I'm just going to take a little bit of that right on the tip and go right underneath where we put that darker color. I'm going to go literally on top of it, just to give that a little bit more of a peachy type tone versus that harsher olive tone. Because we blended that on top, those two colors together on top, and it came out with a really nice look. So I want those to coordinate versus having it blended on top and then down below have just sort of that green look. Now, because I want my eyes to appear larger, I'm going to take a very light color liner. This is by MAC, any light color, nude color that you have from an eyeliner perspective. And I'm going to take that in my lower water, about the center third of your eye. So I don't want to go all the way to the corner. I don't want to go all the way to the inner corner. That just looks a little unnatural to me. I just want to give it ever so slightly right in the center, just like that. And that just gives the eye a little bit more of a large appearance, but it also makes it look a little bit larger just in the center of the eye. All right, we're gonna go with a little bit of eyeliner. I'm gonna use the Dior 24-Hour Stylo waterproof eyeliner. And I'm gonna start with just going a little bit out in the corner and bring it in. It's already a darker, this finger, I'm so sorry, you guys, that bandage just really messes with a beauty tutorial. So we don't want a large winged liner because the shadow's a little bit darker than we would normally wear. We're going to let the eyeshadow steal the show and just bring that in about halfway, going right over Muse, which was that darker color that we used. That's really pretty. Of course, we'll go back and clean up the edges with some concealer, brush off any fallout, which I'm not seeing a lot of fallout, so that is impressive. Next, I'm going to go in with a clean, fluffy brush, and for this I use the Sigma Soft Blend 60. And just get off any of that fallout that might be there. And I'm not seeing a lot of fallout. And I will go in with my concealer and just touch that ever so slightly. I don't want that tape harsh line look. This is a soft look as it is. So to have a harsh straight line would just look a little out of place, I think, since we're going soft line, soft blend. Having a nice soft concealer look makes the most sense. Next, I'm going to go in with the Clinique Eyelash Primer, because a big fluffy lashes will be key to this look. I'm really impressed with the blendability of these colors. I'm impressed with the color payout. There's very little fallout. The question then becomes, for the price point of $55, is 9 big eyeshadows really worth it. And I think that's just a decision that you'll have to make yourself. And can you use, you know, these other colors, this Palomar, this Metro, and that Wisteria in other places on your face? I don't know that I would place that Wisteria anywhere else on my face, but if I was younger, you just never know. Now, because I can't quite help myself while that eyelash primer is going to dry, I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush, and I have to try this Wings. That is just so pretty. It's a really pretty green, and I have to try it. And I wanna put that right on top of that dark eyeliner and then blend it into the IO, which was that gold type color that we added. And then we're just gonna blend. Oh wow, I really, really like that. Not much fallout again, you guys. There's just a little bit underneath my eye, but not bad at all. I like that a lot. I think that just softens up the look. You can see that's a much softer look than this. If it's a night out and you wanna really just have a very bold look, then you could leave the liner. I'm gonna go in and soften it. I think that's a really pretty look. And now I'm gonna go in with some mascara. I'm just using the Lancome Idol. And we're gonna go with at least 2 coats. We may need 3 for this look. Next, I'm gonna grab my waterproof mascara, and I'm using the Hydro Boost by Neutrogena. And I'm gonna take just a little brush, don't hit that finger. I'm gonna take just a little brush like this. This is an eyeliner brush, very angled. And I'm just gonna get some mascara on that brush. And I'm gonna go to my lower lashes, but I don't want them to look clumpy. I don't want them to look sparse, as they are sort of sparse on their own as we age. And this just allows me to get really close to the root and pull that mascara out on the lashes with a very controlled hand and not leaving them clumpy or bunched together. When you don't have a lot of lower lashes left, then when they stick together, that just looks like there's one less. So this really does help separate your lashes and coats every individual lash so that you get the benefit of every lash that you have. And I'll take that same waterproof mascara and go over my eyelashes for the 3rd and final coat, just to make sure that I have no transfer from my lashes to underneath my eye. That just helps give that darker shadow appearance under your eye that just makes you look a little bit more sunken and tired. That is a hard no. So I try to make sure that I have a 3rd coat of mascara just so that we're not transferring. And that pretty much does it, you guys. And so with that, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors out of the 9 that were available to us. I think some of these 2 colors would be really pretty as well. You know, not probably together. I don't know what you would do with that Wisteria, so if you guys have a good idea of how you would use that on your face somewhere, you know, the obvious answer is blush, right? But that's pretty purple for me, but it's gorgeous. It's a bummer that you can't use this Palomar on your eyes because that's a really pretty nice nude color that would look fantastic, you know, up through your, just underneath to carve out your eyebrow. It would look great on the center of your lid to, you know, brighten that area up, but that is not an option. So all in all, I think it's a really pretty look. Again, it's just evaluating the price point, and that's an individual decision. If you're a fan of Anastasia of Beverly Hills eyeshadows, then this would be a really good palette for you. If you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone and go for some colors that you maybe normally wouldn't wear, then that might be a good option for you as well. I like the final look. I think it's a soft look, and I hope you guys did it with me with whatever eyeshadow palette you have. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.